Just last month, Catholics held a major advocacy day to make their voices heard. Reporter Jim Dish and photojournalist Brian Brock went to Springfield to cover Catholics at the Capitol. Here is their report.
It was a sunny day in Springfield as Catholics from across the state of Illinois came to the Capitol to talk to the people who make our laws. Archdiocese of Chicago Chancellor Jimmy Legault, a former director of the Illinois Catholic Conference, the group that organized this Advocacy Day, says it's important for Catholics to speak up.
We've educated the people who are judges and policemen and legislators, the public policy people, so we contribute to the greater common good. And so when we have these days here, it's a chance for all of us to remind ourselves that what we're really about is the common good, and that's where I think church and state respect each other.
The second annual Catholics at the Capitol Day found church leaders campaigning against the latest version of an Illinois Freedom of Choice Act.
It would eradicate healthcare rights of conscience, which would threaten our Catholic hospitals and healthcare systems, as well as doctors and nurses who just don't want to participate in abortions. It would significantly escalate public funding of abortions, basically for all Medicaid recipients, as well as anybody on a state healthcare plan. We as taxpayers would have to pay for their abortions.
Protecting the unborn was just one of several social justice issues that Catholics wanted to discuss with their lawmakers. Among the others,
we need to defend the definition of marriage between one man and one woman. And the bishop's pastoral letter explains some wonderful reasons, for that. And we didn't make up marriage. The church never made up marriage. It's part of the natural law and part of human life, all of life. So we want to do the best we can to stand for the sanctity of the relationship between man and woman that's raised to the level of a sacrament.
In the Archdiocese alone, over 1 million people a year rely on Catholic Charities for food, shelter, clothes, and many different kinds of support services. So it is really important that the state not take away those programs that are so vital to Illinoisans, especially in this deep recession.
Bishops from across the state joined Cardinal George and more than 1,000 Catholics for this busy day that began with Mass at the Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception. Cardinal George spoke of the need to protect the most vulnerable in our society, a message that those in attendance would take to their legislators.
The words of Jesus are not platitudes. They are the injunction of what it means to follow Christ, especially during the season of Lent when we're contemplating the meaning of Christ's own suffering, death, and resurrection. It's not something we do on the side. Catholics, from the very nature of being a follower of Christ, must be concerned about the neighbor, and the neighbor is every human being.
Included in legislation that could help Catholics and non-Catholics alike is a proposal to provide state-funded vouchers to offset the cost of tuition at private schools in neighborhoods not adequately served by public schools.
We do it better, we do it cheaper. And the Tribune article that came out that very same day as we were lobbying for the Meeks bill really said it. We do a fine job with less. These are everyone's children. Let's educate them together.
Cardinal George and his entourage took this education message, as well as many other social justice concerns, to lawmakers on both sides of the aisle. But was that message heard?
The people in the legislature are very aware of the quality of Catholic education and the discipline that's part of it. And that's viewed as a positive. We in the government are very interested that the educational system in general and the Catholic system is producing good people for the future.
The Senate passed the voucher legislation in late March and sent it to the House. So what's the bottom line on this year's Catholics at the Capitol? Here's the assessment from the guy who organized the event, Catholic Conference of Illinois Executive Director Bob Gilligan.
The fact of the matter is that just about every member of the Illinois General Assembly was contacted in some way, shape, or form. They had to engage Catholics, and they like that. They like when people come down from their own districts and they engage them in conversation. So, in my opinion, this moves the ball. This moves the ball forward. It moves our agenda, advances our agenda in ways that we could never do if we didn't do this day.
And Bob Gilligan encourages you to go to the conference website at CatholicConferenceofIllinois.org to track proposed legislation that was discussed in this report and to find out how you can most effectively communicate with your lawmakers. For Sanctuary, I'm Jim Dish reporting from Springfield.